All right, and we are live here on YouTube. As we are here to talk about the early season Major League Baseball. I've got my friend and co-host Big Sean, as you see there at Cards Nation Junkie. We're going to talk about the early season baseball picks, as well as just teams that we like, fantasy bets, all the stuff with baseball that a junkie would like. So, Sean, it is April 13th. We're going to talk a lot about this baseball season so far. I know we're only about 2.5 weeks in, almost 3. But how do you feel early on this season in Major League Baseball? What is your feeling like?
Man, just like every season, it's funny. You have all these opinions and all these things you think are going to go one way. And then literally after about 2 weeks, almost everything you knew, it changes a little bit. What you thought you knew is not really the case. Some of the guys that I really thought would take off are having slow starts. Some of the guys I really thought would have slow starts are doing pretty well. Some of the guys I faded in fantasy and in bets and stuff are having decent starts. There's some big surprises this year, which we'll talk about. Our Cardinals are hanging tough. Their offense looks a little frisky, which is what we kind of talked about on our preseason episodes. There's a lot of things that we could see coming, but there's a lot of things that we didn't. So, what's been the biggest surprise for you? Has it been the Giants, or has it been what's some of the biggest things that you've seen so far early in the year that you're shocked at so far?
Yeah, this has been an interesting start to the season. A couple that come to mind, definitely the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves are and have been one of my favorite teams coming into the season.
Yep.
I'm still going to be on the board with them. I don't think it's too early. It's April 13th. Like, we're not even into April 30th. We're not even into May. Some of these teams just start slow and then they get hot and they get going. And perfect example of that was last year, the Houston Astros. They started like 12-23 or something crazy, ended up winning the division, making the playoffs, no problem. So Braves definitely one of my biggest surprises from a bad standpoint, but from a good standpoint, I really like this Giants team. And coming into 2025, I was a little cautious of them. I don't know. It's again, it's still early. Don't love the pitching, but my gosh, that lineup is fun to watch, especially Jung-Ho Lee. Very, very good player. On base percentage is great. He's hitting home runs now. He hit 2 today in Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
And you have Willy Adames, who hasn't even gotten going yet. So, yes, I like the Giants a lot. I'm starting to believe more in them. And I know I said kind of with the Braves that I'm not going to go too crazy and fall off a bridge with them, but I do think they can turn things around. But I also think the Giants might be legit and can make the playoffs. So, yeah, Giants, one of my favorite surprises this season in Major League Baseball. Do you have any thoughts on those two teams?
How about this? In the AL, we're talking a lot of NL. It's the Blue Jays, the Angels, and the Tigers right now leading the divisions. I didn't have that one coming into the third week here. I do like the Giants. I think it's funny. I think the offense is going to start to cool off a bit, and I think that pitching staff with Verlander and Ray and Webb, I think they're actually going to take off a little bit this year. I actually think, man, Hayden Birdsong, that's my guy this year. I think he's going to start in that rotation midway through the year. I think that rotation is going to pick up. If the offense holds up the way it is now, we're talking about a playoff team. We're talking about get rid of Verlander. I don't know about that yet. Oh, Lex,
I'm muted.
Are you on mute?
Yeah. I was just going to say really quick, RJ is a loyal follower. He follows me on TikTok, and he's here on the YouTube Live. Big Giants fan. Yeah. He says get rid of Verlander. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Jordan Hicks looks decent, but their bullpen looks okay. Duvall is the kind of the key. I don't know if he's if he's just going to keep walking guys and fall off a cliff like he did last year. I don't know if that bullpen's going to hold up either, but I don't think the rotation is going to be the weak spot of this team come season end. So if this offense stays hot and if Adames can get hot, I mean, you could have if Jung-Ho Lee is almost like a 2020 guy, you could have Chapman and Adames, getting to about 30 home runs. That offense would really be something. Heliot Ramos looks okay. They haven't really been bitten by any injuries yet so far. I do like the Giants. The Braves, we got Strider coming back on Wednesday. Looks like he's going to make his first start of the year. They said Acuna is just now starting to run, lateral run, all that stuff. They're saying he may not play the outfield every day. We'll see about that. Initially, they were saying beginning of May, but maybe it'll be like mid to end of May for Acuna, which will be a big bounce back for that offense. So we'll see about the Braves. I don't know. It's funny. When you think about the Braves, you think about Strider, Sale, Schwellenbach. That is maybe the best top of the rotation in baseball when they're hot. And we'll see if Strider comes back Wednesday. All three of them are going to be healthy in the same rotation for the first time ever. Reynaldo Lopez already down, but that rotation could hold up. Sale's not having too good of a start to the season. He actually has been looking pretty bad. He had another rough outing today.
Yeah, he's looked awful.
So we'll see about that Braves rotation, but I do think the offense is going to turn around. I've watched some Braves games. I really like Olsen still. Riley's been fine. He hasn't been great. Michael Harris has been pretty pathetic at the top of that order. That's kind of a guy who he had a lot of promise 2 years ago, and it doesn't look like he's going to be the player that they want him to be. Still a good defender. Sean Murphy back hitting some home runs. I do think that lineup can heat up. I think it's going to be, top half of the league lineup. It could be a top 10 lineup. There's just no way that the Braves are under 500. Maybe they underperform. Maybe they only get to like 82 wins or something. But man, if there was a bet out there for over under 85.5 for the Braves, I would still smash that over. I think. I don't know about you, Alexi.
Yeah, I think I would too. I would. I'm gonna keep riding with the Braves. They'll be fine. It's early in the season. They're getting two studs back. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. And I think the sports books are still saying that minus 165 to make the playoffs. That's the odds right now. Obviously, before the season started, it's probably like minus 300, minus 400. I don't know the exact odds it was, but now you got minus 165. Yeah. They're fine. Yeah. They'll be fine.
My other question too is another two teams. Angels, you believe in anything in them? This Kyron Paris, still has an OPS over like 1,600. That guy could barely hit 200 in the minor leagues. All of a sudden, they said he ran into Aaron Judge, hitting coach, in the offseason. Now he's got an OPS of almost 1,700 through 3 weeks. We'll see.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say this. Mike Trout, if they're going to get a full season out of Mike Trout, they need that. I still am questionable with their pitching. I think their pitching is their weak link, but I do think the offense is sneaky. I think the offense could be good. Ohapi, I think Ohapi's good. I think we both like him quite a bit.
Big W this year for fantasy, I think. Yep.
Ward is good. I think Ward has potential up at the top of the lineup. Like there's some hitters. Soler, you're going to get the power.
Zach Neto coming back. They said he's finishing up his rehab. He's going to start at short probably the rest of the year. Another 2020 type of guy. Good, great athletic shortstop, which I think that offense could hold throughout the year. Imagine a full MVP season for Mike Trout. I think that would be – you looked at the Yankees last year. They had a couple guys deep in the lineup. They had like Gleyber Torres and Bell, a couple other guys. They didn't have Bellinger last year, but really held up by two guys last year, the Yankees, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. A guy like Mike Trout could push this Angels lineup from bad to at least average or good just by himself if he went out there had the season he had maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we'll see. I'll see how the Angels do. Just a little worried about their rotation, but offensively, I think they'll be good. One other team I want to mention here, Sean, and I'm kicking myself because I believed in this team. I put a futures bet in for them to win the division, and why did I do it? I don't know. I'm going to just put my hand up right now. One of the worst bets I've made in a little bit. The freaking Minnesota Twins. What was I thinking? Believing that they would do anything, even in a weak division. We've got a pathetic offense. Look, when Harrison Bader is leading your team in like home runs, well, I think maybe Buxton took him over now, but Bader's been arguably their best hitter. He doesn't even play every day. And you've got Carlos Correa, who's just kind of hitting like he looks right
terrible.
Now.
He looks terrible.
There's guys in the rotation. Pablo Lopez is already hitting the IL. There's just so many things about this Twins team that I'm already like, it's disgusting. The offense is bad. The pitching is pretty bad for the most part. Maybe that's a little bit of a good thing for them, but offensively, it's just bad. And I think this is a team who's going to be under 500, even in a bad division. Like I think the Tigers, in my opinion, should be the team to win it with the pitching they have and a couple of the nice offensive pieces. But gosh, I can't believe I took the Twins. Do you have anything positive to say about this Twins team? Is there anything? Is this a slow start that they come back from, or are you saying nah, we're good?
It's interesting. Twins are kind of like much of those AL Central teams. Like we said in our preseason pod, was they'll kill you with depth. They have a bunch of guys. They have minor league guys who are on their way up. But man, I don't see it. I just don't see it. If Correa is going to be bad, if Buxton is healthy and not even that good, what's that offense going to be all year? I don't think there's going to be enough there. Joe Ryan has looked okay, but if him and Papa Lopez, especially if Lopez is out for more than a month or 2 months, that rotation's not going to hold up. I don't know about the bullpen either. I'm worried about the Twins. It just looks and feels like that's a team that's, I don't want to say expiring, but that's a team that kind of had their peak, and they have a bunch of guys that if they did fall off a cliff this year, I am not going to be surprised at all, especially Correa. I think he had such a injury when he came back from his injury last year. He looked so good, and that's looking more like a fluke than something that would going to continue this year. So I'm worried about the Twins, and I don't think if I had to make a bet on it, I'm not picking them for that division right now.
Yeah, no chance. Now, before we start, we're going to get into a couple of the fantasy baseball players. Before then, we talk about a couple of bets. Just a quick review about what we're doing tonight. So I'm Deep Pockets. I have Twitter and X where I post like picks every day. We talk about baseball. This is Sean, Big Sean, Cardinal Nation Junkie. We're here on the podcast. We're going to be here. We'll try to do like one per week. Just kind of go through some bets. We'll talk about the week in review. We'll talk about players, fantasy wise. So if you're trying to get some help on the fantasy side of it, if you want some bets, just want to talk baseball, whatever, there's a lot of good stuff here that we're going to talk about throughout the year. So thanks for anyone who watches. I know we'll have some live people, but we'll also have some people who watch it later on from a playback standpoint. But Sean, beside all of that, we've already talked about some of these teams' favorites, some prizes. Maybe there's some teams that are off to a bad start, hot start. Is there any other one team besides that? We're going to get into fantasy baseball players next, but any other team that we haven't talked about that you are either pleasantly surprised with or that you're like, yeah, I just don't see it with them? Any other teams that you like or dislike?
I'll say this, just kind of general stuff. Love that Red Sox lineup. I think it's going to be good. I think if Devers is back, I think they're going to have a good year. Rangers, I'm still in on the Rangers. I think even with Langford's injury with an oblique, which is really scary, that's something that could last all year long. But I still have faith in Simeon, in Seager. I still think Jock Peterson could even have a decent year for them. I'm still in on this Texas lineup, which could come back to bite me. But I like the Red Sox lineup, and I still am in on this Rangers lineup. But, man, if they don't start hitting, they're not going to win that division either. But that's about it from a general standpoint. There's been some ups and downs. The NL Central, another interesting one. Looks like Kyle Tucker was every bit of what the Cubs are going to need this year, which scares us as Cardinal fans. And the Cardinals roster a little sneaky.
I'll say this, though. We talked about it on the early season pod that Justin Steele or Imanaga, if one of those guys went down, that would be a huge loss for them. And look at that. Justin Steele is out for the season. So that's a big loss for the Cubs. I mean, in my opinion, their rotation is already thin. Imanaga is great, but outside of that, you got Tyon, and tonight they're throwing. I know he went somehow. He did really, really well against this Dodgers lineup. Colin Ray. Yeah. I don't know. There's just there's some holes in this team rotation wise. I do like the lineup, but yes, that kind of opens up some things for the Central. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive. Not saying the Cardinals are going to do anything, but I do think the Brewers are right there with them, and who knows, maybe Cincinnati too. But I do think there's some question marks around that rotation now in Chicago.
What do you think about the Vlad Guerrero contract, real quick?
No way he should be getting $500 million. Yeah, no way. Is he a good player? Yes, he's good. He's a good player. I think Toronto needed to lock him up. Was he going to get that on the market? I mean, I'm sure some team probably would have paid him a crazy amount, but is he worth $500 million in that many years? I don't know. To me, I don't believe he is. I think there's a little bit less there. I would have went maybe more AAV and then done like less years, but he probably just wanted the years and the money. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I say no, but what do you think?
No, I'm right there with you. Credit to him. He's been healthy, just like Soto. They've been healthy, which is rare these days. But first baseman, who's kind of not that good defensively, he's not one of the 5 or 10 best hitters in baseball right now. So I don't know. He's just really young. He'll be a good hitter for the next 8 to 10 years. I do think so. But that's just too much money. That's just too much money. And it just makes me realize how much Kyle Tucker is going to get paid if he stays healthy, which, I mean, he's going to get a contract probably north of $600 million, which is just
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. As the owners of the Cardinals, the way they are now, if these guys are going for $600 million, I guess we'll never sign a good free agent just the rest of our lives, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, it'll have to be within the organization, sign them really early on, and it'd be some cheap contract. So, unfortunately, that's probably the way it looks. But good stuff on these early season teams. I know we could talk about a lot more of them, but we're going to try to move a little quicker into other things. And the next one on our watch here is fantasy baseball players. We play fantasy baseball. We're trying to help people know who to look for, who's maybe out on a breakout season. Maybe there's guys out there who you could buy low, sell high, those kind of things. There's a lot of players that have impressed us early on, a couple players that have started a little slow and we're a little worried about. Sean, let me ask you, who has been your favorite player, maybe
Mhm.
most surprising favorite player? Who's a guy that
Mhm.
that people need to be looking out for this year in 2025?
Well, the big guy, although he just got a wrist injury yesterday or 2 days ago, yesterday, was Seiya Suzuki. I think that Cubs lineup was starting to finally come together and hitting right behind Kyle Tucker. I think he was primed for a huge year. Had the wrist injury. They didn't put him on the IL today. I think he's still going to have a strong season this year. Um, a couple other guys. I do think that these Cardinal guys are a little sneaky. Brendan Donovan with still a slugging percentage over 500. Lars Nootbaar leading off every day, even against lefties. Um, those are just a couple guys. I really do like Ben Rice with the Yankees. I'm kind of worried. I wish he still had catcher eligibility in fantasy baseball. He would be 99% rostered if that were the case. What about you? Have you done any victory laps so far with the guys you've been drafting in your leagues?
Well, and I'm in two leagues. I'm in a category league and I'm in a points league. In my category league, I'm very happy about Jung Ho Lee. I got him this week in
Yep.
fantasy. I'm kind of mad I didn't do it in our league too, in the points league, but it's okay. He's good for that league. Very high on him. Loving what he's doing. Also, obviously, he's a big name, but he was going. I got him in the 10th round, and I think he was probably going around this round for a lot of other drafts. But Mike Trout, he has been one of my favorite
Yeah.
players
Yeah.
so far early on. He's hitting home runs, he's getting on base, he's driving in the runs. So, yes, Mike Trout, even though he's a big name, I think for the place he was drafted in fantasy, it's like incredible value if he has a big season. So, yeah, Trout and Lee have been my two favorites, and then if you're looking for more of like a sleeper type guy, and when I say sleeper, I mean, again, he wasn't supposed to be good, but how about Chris Bassett? Chris Bassett's been incredible to start the season. He's only given up 2 earned runs.
Yep. Yep.
I think he's got three walks to just 21 strikeouts to 3 walks.
Tons of
Chris,
innings. He leads in WAR in Fangraphs WAR so far this year.
exactly. So those are, I mean, I know the Lee guy is so familiar, somewhat newer. He was out for a lot of last year, so maybe some people are starting to know who he is. And Trout and Bassett, they've been around, but in terms of value and where they stand right now, man, it's hard to be mad about those two players. And those are two of my guys that I've liked. So those are the two I'm high on and that I'm liking right now. And then one player that I'm a little worried about, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober has looked really bad to start the season. Velocity seems to be
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Strikeouts are a little bit down. So yeah, Bailey Ober would be my on my list as like, shoot, I don't know if I really did well drafting him, but yeah, those are just some three players. Is there anyone else out there that people should be watching out for? Kind of like what I said with Trout and Bassett, or is there any even guys on the free agent list that you might look out for?
Well, we'll get into this a little bit here. Bailey Ober, just another point of that Twins team. Man, if Lopez is out for a month to 3 months, and then Joe Ryan isn't great, and Bailey Ober falls off a cliff, man, we're looking at a team like under 500. That could get real ugly. But dude, my big guy so far. I think the biggest thing that people need to add, I think in our Yahoo league, he's only maybe 13 or less than 20% rostered, is that Jonathan Aranda for the Rays. I think the Rays have a sneaky lineup. It's crazy. I think if Wander Franco was still healthy and on that team, I think that lineup would be one of the best in baseball. I mean, it is awesome. Yandy Diaz is still awesome. Brendan Lau, Josh Lau gets back pretty soon. Aranda is doing great. He is 8th in the league in expected WOBA, the ex-WOBA, which a bunch of red on that Savant page. I think he's going to have a big year this year. That's kind of my guy to pick up in the coming weeks. We'll see. I like that Rays lineup. That's a guy I think needs to be picked up. The other guy, which we've talked about early in the season and on our preseason pod, was Kyle Manzardo. I think he's gonna keep it up. I think he's gonna have a decent year this year. I think he's gonna hit fourth for the Indians or the Guardians all year long. Only a 172 batting average on balls in play. That means he is getting unlucky. He's probably one of the 20, 30 best hitters this year, and he's getting unlucky. I think he already has like 5 or so home runs. Not the best offense in the league, but if he's going to hit fourth behind Jose Ramirez, then he's got to be owned in more leagues. Those are my two guys on the wire so far these first 2 weeks. Is there anybody you're really liking that you think needs to be picked up, whether it's pitching or hitting wise?
Yeah, I'm looking at this week. What I like to do is because it's weird like how different my two leagues are from a points league to a categories league. Like you'll see players out there who are available that one league may have and the other league may not. But one guy who I targeted, and he's rostered in only 30% of leagues on ESPN. I don't know about Yahoo right now, but I think you have him, Sean. Great matchup tomorrow if he's somehow out there and you can grab him. Dustin May against this Rockies team. I mean, if he doesn't go 6 shutout innings and strike out 6 guys at least, that'd be pathetic. I mean, this Rockies
His
team
velocity's
is
back.
horrible.
His velocity's back this year. I'm excited. I think he'll get hurt. If you told me he pitches 140 innings, I would be shocked this year.
Mm-hmm.
But velocity's back. He looks good. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. I love that pickup. It's crazy that I don't even think he was drafted in our 10-man league.
I don't think he was.
It's just a little weird.
No, he wasn't. And so I like him. I think if he can stay, the biggest thing, can he stay healthy? And if he can, he could have a big year on a really good team, obviously, in the Dodgers. If there was another guy, I'm trying to see if there's another guy here that I was targeting. I not that it's a guy I'm targeting, but man, last year we kind of saw him drop off a little bit. But how about Corbin Carroll to start 2025? He's been on fire, 5 home runs to 10 RBIs. Yeah. He's not really stealing bases, which is interesting, but he's getting a lot of extra base hits, doubles, triples, outside of the home runs. I mean, I'm looking at his game logs right now. He has at least 2 hits in his last 5 games. So he's looked really good. I'm impressed with Corbin Carroll. And if this is the type of offense they're going to get from him, the Diamondbacks will be good this year. So yes, love Corbin Carroll. He's been one of my favorite players to watch so far this season too.
Yeah. Is there any guys that you think we really need to be on in terms of selling high or buying low in terms of going forward with fantasy?
Look, I'll say this, and this might run some bias here, but I'll be honest. I don't know if you've noticed this, Sean, but I think Jordan Walker looks a lot better at the plate this year.
Yeah.
So if you're in those kind of leagues that have dynasty leagues, keeper leagues, I think Jordan Walker, if he's still sitting around there, like I know in one of my other leagues he's a free agent. I think in both leagues he's a free agent. I mean, if his power can get there, he hit like bomb today.
He does not look overmatched at all. He doesn't look overmatched at all.
His approach this year compared to last year, like he's not striking out a lot. He's taking better at bats. He's not like Jim Edmonds like to say. Let's quote Jim Edmonds here. Not trying to do too much at the plate. But man, I've been impressed with Jordan Walker, and I know it's still early. He could still like kind of fall off a little bit, but I have been impressed with Jordan Walker. I think he's got the potential. We all know about the prospect that he is. And if he can just continue doing well in that lineup, and even the defense has looked good. I know you don't get fantasy points on defense, but it's been better. I know he takes routes weird at times, but he looks more comfortable out there, and he has a strong arm. So I've been high on a guy you want to talk a little bit maybe that people don't have on a roster, or if you like keeper leagues and such. Jordan Walker is a guy that I'd be watching out for because the breakout potential is still there.
Yeah, for sure. That good defense is going to keep him in the lineup. That's important. And he hit second the other day. I think if some of these guys like a Wilson Contreras really has as bad of a year as he's had, you're going to look to guys like that to hit second or third in that Cardinals lineup. Imagine Jordan Walker red hot hitting number 2 in between Newbar and Donovan or whoever in that Cardinals lineup all year. I would take that in fantasy all day long.
Yeah, I hope he can continue to do well. Buy high, sell low. Man, I will be honest I'm a little worried about Chris Sale. I drafted him this season in one of my leagues, and I don't know. I mean, coming off the Cy Young year, one of his most innings pitched. We talked about his innings pitched the last 5 years. He hasn't pitched this many innings since whatever it was, 2019. I don't even know the same year. But I am a little worried about Chris Sale. So if you can find a trade for him, I don't think it's the worst idea because he's always injury prone. And yeah, Chris Sale would be a guy who I might be looking to trade. What do you think about Chris Sale?
Yeah. Sale's starting to worry me. The only thing with Sale is delivery's the same, velocity's the same. The gap in the fielding independent pitching to his actual ERA is high. His FIP is much better than his ERA, which is really encouraging. I love the team he's on. That's the only thing. If you're in a points league where you can get wins, I actually do like Chris Sale in terms of staying in ball games, getting wins, going 5-6+ innings. But the injury risk is so high. I mean, seeing him have 3 bad starts, my immediate red flag said, "Oh, must be an injury, must be a shoulder, must be a forearm, something like that." So that really worries me. But I think Chris Sale is a guy who, if you can get a sneaky deal on a guy like Chris Sale, maybe you trade one of these other hot starters. I mean, if anyone would be silly enough to trade, like a Bassett for Chris Sale, or even just like even like a Mackenzie Gore for a Chris Sale, I think I'd rather have Chris Sale in that trade, unless it's like a dynasty or something where you're keeping players and all that, because Chris Sale is very old. But the upside with Sale is there, especially this season, even though with the age and the injury risk, I do think it'll pay off. It's not a guy you can ever drop, no matter how poor he's doing. So I'm kind of in between. I think I'm more positive outlook than you on Sale.
Keep it to the Braves. One other quick guy I want to mention. How about Schwellenbach? Spencer Schwellenbach. I mean, off to an incredible start.
Doing
20
great.
innings pitched, 19 strikeouts. I think he has just 3 walks on the season.
One of our biggest victory laps. We said Cy Young odds. I remember we threw it up on our screen in the preseason pod. That was a guy we really liked. I think we were picking him over Zach Wheeler and Sale and Strider and everyone.
Yes.
We liked Schwellenbach even more than those guys going into the year.
I'm looking at his Savant page right now. It looks incredible. I mean, all red. Chase percentage is great. Whiff percentage. Walks are down. Barrel percentage against him. I mean, everything that you want to see from a pitcher. And the numbers are exactly what they say. Like it's sometimes you can look at those Savant pages and you are like, I mean, yeah, that's great, but he's not doing anything. It's not translating to the real game. Schwellenbach, he has done that so far in 3 starts. So yes, I like him a lot. He's looked incredible. The Cy Young odds for him look amazing. So if you want to sprinkle a little bit on him, I think it's worth a shot.
So hot takes. We'll stay in the Braves. We'll stay in that Braves rotation. One of my biggest sell highs, which sounds crazy. Alexi, it sounds crazy. Some of the talk around Spencer Strider, I can't believe what I'm hearing. He just had his minor league outing. I think he struck out 13 through 5 innings or 6 innings, whatever it was, in AAA. I mean, I'm in a fantasy group chat, my other fantasy group chat. They're losing their minds. They're saying they're going to trade all kinds of people for Spencer Strider. I mean, he's a pitcher. This guy could literally stub his toe tomorrow and miss 4 months. I mean, who knows what's going on? He's coming back from what's the new Tommy John, the brace release or whatever it is. Guy had elbow surgery, whatever it was, 11 months ago. He's one of my biggest sell highs right now. I think maybe even let him come out and have like a 5-inning start. Maybe he can strike out like 10. I'm looking to sell a guy like that. Imagine if you could imagine something where you could put together, I give up Strider for I just like to give people examples. What about for Sale and Michael King? You tell me you wouldn't do that right away? Oh my gosh, those are 2 guys that that I think could be absolute studs. Whereas Strider is going to have a good year if he stays healthy, but I'm still really nervous of him coming off the big surgery like that. You don't see pitchers just go out and dominate coming right off a big surgery like that. So Spencer Strider actually big on my sell high list right now. I don't know if you think that's crazy or not.
Well, I'll say this. The numbers look good, of course. I mean, he's pitching in AAA. Let's all pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah,
he's pitching in AAA. Like these guys, there's players in AAA who, sure, they could be playing in the majors right now, but there's a lot of guys who probably shouldn't be either. They're just kind of there to fill a roster spot. So I think for some of those guys who are very high on him, good reason. He's got the talent. We saw how good he was a couple years ago when he was healthy. But yeah, I mean, talk about trading your entire team. I want to see him pitch a couple times. It's been almost a whole year since he last pitched in the majors, if not a whole year. And so I want to see how he does. Will that translate over? And will he might start a little slow in the season. He might start slow. Who knows? So I don't think you're crazy, but I will say if I draft him in one league, and I know you have him in the other, but I do feel really nice and confident about him coming back. Like that's going to make my team better. And if he sucks, it is what it is. But I do feel pretty good about Spencer Strider coming back to this Atlanta rotation. That'll be nice.
A couple other guys on my sell high list. I think Goldschmidt has kind of hit his peak. I don't know if he's going to lead off for the Yankees all year. I think he's going to have a lot of counting stats in a better lineup, but he worries me. I mean, he's so old now. Once they get to their upper 30s, guys like that, I could see him having a slow second half. I'm kind of out on Goldschmidt. Same thing with Machado. Man, he's had a pretty decent year, hit a couple home runs. The power looks like it might be back, but man, I don't know about Manny Machado. I'm kind of out on Machado. And then a couple of guys I really want to pick up who, a lot of the league might not want a big name that I really think is a great buy low guy right now is Jonathan India, who just got injured. They said he had like quad tightness or calf tightness or something. What was that, on Thursday or Friday? But that's a guy. He's been playing third base and he's been playing left field. So he's going to have second, third, and outfield eligibility going forward. He's going to lead off right in front of Bobby Witt all year. I don't think he's going to move from that spot all year long. He's injured. He's off to a slower start. That is a big-time guy. I think I'm looking to buy low right now. If you're trying to package somebody in a deal, I mean, if you have like a Goldschmidt and you need a second baseman, Jonathan Aranda or Jonathan India are two big-time guys I think are going to have good second halves, going to have a good year this year. Wilson Contreras, another guy. He just got a home run today, which I like. He put on all that muscle in the offseason, and he's only playing first base. Maybe it was just a slow start. I like him starting every single day at first with catcher eligibility. I like that. The other guy too is Corey Seager, which I know I mentioned that Texas lineup. Do you think that Corey Seager and Marcus Semien are okay guys to target for a buy low in fantasy, or are you kind of worried that they might not turn it around as they're getting into their 30s as well?
I'm more worried about Semien. I think Seager has the better track record to believe in him. But
Yeah.
Semien, I'm a little bit worried about. I could see him kind of having that average season, nothing crazy, nothing special. But Seager, I could buy low on him. I think he has the potential to have a big season and still hit the home runs and produce in that Texas lineup. So yes, I would definitely do it for Seager. For Semien, I would be a little cautious about. I'm a little worried about him.
Yeah, then my other two notes are just Mitch Keller and Clay Holmes. Expected ERAs, fielding independent pitching are a lot better than their real ERAs. I think they could still turn it around. Clay Holmes worries me with his workload, and Mitch Keller worries me with the team he's on. I don't think he's going to get a lot of wins, but those are two guys that cannot be on any waiver wires or anything like that. Those are guys I'm looking to trade for as the season goes on too.
And I'll give two more. I would say, I don't know if he's under the radar anymore. If you don't have him in fantasy at this point, you're crazy. And if your league still has him available, that's also crazy. But how about Chris Bubich from the Kansas City Royals?
Yeah.
Off to a phenomenal start, 18 and 2/3 innings, 21 strikeouts to just 3 walks, I believe it is now, or 5 walks, excuse me. He's looked really good. 0.96 ERA. The metrics support it too. It looks like his fastball velocity isn't great, but I mean, who cares? I mean, if he doesn't need to throw 98, 99 to have a good season. XERA is just about where it should be. Average exit velocity against him. Yeah, everything points to him having a big season. I think he was close to a first round pick. It looks like he was CBA 40 overall pick back in 2018. So 27 years old, he's kind of starting to come together. I think he has a big season ahead of him.
Man, that Royals rotation, man. Michael Wacha looks good too.
Yep.
Wow, that could be real sneaky. Reagan's looking like already an early Cy Young favorite. Looks amazing. Lugo with Bubich or Bubic and Wacha.
Yep.
I mean, that's a team that I think they're going to compete for the division all year. I think we were saying the Royals could be a little sneaky as well.
Yes. And then one other guy who I I don't think his numbers are great. But I think I think this is more for categories league. I think Sal Frelick is worth a flyer. He's 24th or 24. He was a first round pick back
Yep.
in 2021, 15th overall. I mean, again, his savant page isn't great, but that doesn't mean everything. He doesn't strike out a lot. Very good at putting the ball in play. He's kind of reminds me of Luis Ariz. Obviously, he doesn't have that same exact profile as him, but in terms of the approach, he doesn't strike out a lot. He's in the middle of that order. He can drive some runs in here and there. So I think Sal Frelick has some potential. If you have him like in a category league available, I think he's worth a shot to
Man,
target.
love that. Love those Brewers guys. Love them. I like where Bryce Terang's at. He's going to lead off, looks like, every day for the Brewers. Man, a couple of those guys, if Cheerio turns it on, they could have like 5 or 6 guys all under 25 that could actually really be sneaky in that lineup, which kind of worries me.
Yep. Yeah, Jackson Churio has been great so far this season. William Contreras. I mean, both the Contreras brothers have started slow. Maybe they did the same offseason program together. I don't know. But hey, they both did hit a home run today. They both seem to have put something together this past week, and hopefully it will translate to more offense for both guys. But yeah, the Contreras brothers, if they play to their potential, those are great guys to have in fantasy. And yeah, I think they'll get going even more than they, and some guys just take a little bit longer to get going. You can't just completely be out on a guy in the first 3 weeks, especially a guy with a proven track record. So hopefully the Contreras brothers will continue their success from this past week.
Yeah, the only thing I like to do on these sell high, buy lows is there's some guys that I think need to be on buy highs where a guy might offer you a trade and think he's getting a deal out of it, but if somebody's offering you that trade, you should accept it. And one of the big names that jumps out to me is James Wood so far with the Nats. This guy looks unbelievable. I think he's like 6'7", and he plays the outfield basically like a center fielder. He's out in the corner outfield making diving plays. It's like, imagine Giancarlo Stanton with Ellie De La Cruz athleticism. That's almost what it looks like out there. He's and the opposite field power. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. The guy has great approach at the plate. He's not striking out as much as projections were saying he would. He looks awesome. I think he's going to hit like 30 home runs. And he's already stealing some bases. I think within the next 3 years, this is like a 30-30 guy. If you're in Dynasty, I think he's probably like a top 10 Dynasty player right now. He was maybe going in the 5th or 6th round, especially in redraft leagues. I wish I had some more James Wood. I think I would even trade even a guy like Christian Campbell, some of these other guys for James Wood. That guy looks unbelievable. I think he's going to be awesome for the next 10 plus years.
Yep. Nationals have some sneaky guys on offense. Pitching could be better, but I think they have some guys on offense that they can build around and improve year in, year out. So yes, definitely James Wood is a guy to target. Besides that, is there any other fantasy guys? I know we're going to talk about some bets. That's what is to come next. We're going to talk about tomorrow. When I say tomorrow, that is April 13th, Monday, MLB bets. We're going to talk about a few teams, a few of these series that are about to start, and give some of our favorite bets or bets just to look for potentially for us to bet. And we'll talk about those games and what we like overall. But Sean, before we move into that, any other players that we missed, or is there anyone else that you want to give some shouts out to before we move on to that?
Just the only other name I really want to harp on other than Jonathan Aranda is Ben Rice with the Yankees. I think he's going to end up being top 5 hitter in that lineup. He is first in xWOBA this season. His savant page is red. There's basically nothing that guy has done poorly this year offensively. He does play first, not an incredible defender, but the hitting's there. I think he's going to have a big year. I don't know what the Yankees figured out so far this year with the torpedo bats and this, this engineer that they got last year to make these bats for all these hitters. I don't know what they figured out, but I think Ben Rice is going to be a stud on offense this year going forward.
Yes, Ben Rice has been awesome to start the season. So if he's still somehow available in your leagues, target him because he won't be there much longer. He seems to be a nice piece of that Yankees lineup and could have a big season ahead of him in the Bronx. There was one more thing I forgot to mention before we go into these picks. I just wanted to give a quick mention of another team who I am definitely a little bit worried about. And the biggest reason is because they're pitching, and that's the Baltimore Orioles. Have not been impressed with them this season. Again,
Yeah.
it's very early, but I feel like they just kind of sleepwalked through the offseason. They signed Tyler O'Neill. They got rid of, I mean, they didn't re-sign Anthony Santander. So they basically replaced those two guys. Pitching wise, they let Corbin Burns walk. I mean, they've got a lot of young guys in their lineup who are good. We all know about Henderson and Rutschman and such, but I really worry about the pitching. I think the pitching is their biggest problem, and they're in a really competitive division with some good offense and good pitching. So, yeah, I am glad that in our preseason preview, I was not super high on Baltimore. I said they could be fine, but the more I watch them, the more I look at their long term, I'm definitely concerned about this pitching. And then any quick thoughts about Baltimore, Sean?
Man, a couple of those young guys, if Heston Kjerstad and Jackson Holliday and if Colton Cowser now is with him being injured, if those guys are just kind of like bench bat guys, man, the outlook of that whole roster changes a lot from what I thought maybe like middle of last year. So, and Adley Rutschman, awesome player, great catcher, good framing catcher, which I don't even think a lot of us knew before last couple of years. He's not a guy that's going to hit 30 home runs, 40 home runs. He's not going to be one of these 20, 30 best hitters. Gunnar Henderson, awesome, absolutely awesome, probably a top 10 player in the league. But other than Henderson, I'm not sure they have a guy there. Kyle Bradish hurt last year. Grayson Rodriguez hurt. Pitching looks pretty pathetic. Felix Bautista, I don't think he'll be on the roster in the next few years. I don't know. I'm getting a little worried about the Orioles. I think the offense could come together this year and next year, but if these prospects don't hit as hard as what we thought they did maybe 2 years ago when they were the number one system in the whole league, then yeah, I'm starting to get worried about the Orioles.
Yeah, I am too. Well, Sean, I think we're good to go into some of the bets for tomorrow. Is there anything else you want to mention before you go into that?
No, let's do it. Let's rock.
All right. One question for you though, before we do that. This is like the mid podcast trivia question. Let's see if you know what team leads the league in home runs. Can you tell me, Sean, in all of baseball, it's April 13th, what team leads the league in home runs? Can you guess?
Well, I would maybe guess the Yankees, but with you asking, I'm going to guess that's not the answer.
Okay. I'm not saying yes or no.
So I'm going to say, weirdly enough, I'm going to say maybe the Cubs. I think they're definitely one of the top 5, but I'm going to say the Cubs. What is it?
So I'll tell you this. You guessed 2 teams, and they're both in the top 4. So the Cubs sit at 25, and I'm assuming this is updated as the home runs are hit. So they hit 2 home runs tonight, I think, or 3. Cubs are 4. Yankees are 3. Dodgers are 2. And number 1, drum roll, the Los Angeles Angels are number 1 right now in Major League Baseball with the 30 home runs hit.
Oh my God!
So
yeah, and how many of those were against the Cardinals in that series last weekend? Jeez.
Exactly. So yes, the Los Angeles Angels of all the teams are the number 1. I mean, it's April 13th, but it's just funny that they are number 1 right now in home runs. I think that's hilarious to me.
First place in the West and first place in home runs. Hey, you never know, man.
And then really quick, I got to ask you this because I just saw it. Who do you think is last in home runs hit this season? So of all the teams, who is last in season total home runs? Let me know what you think.
I'm going to say the Marlins just because I have to say the Marlins because that offense is pathetic. Although Xavier Edwards looks like a guy this year, could be a guy this year. But I'm thinking it may even be the Rockies. They've only had, 1 or 2 home series so far. I couldn't even tell you. I don't think I could name the starting lineup for the Rockies so far this year. But I'm going to say the Marlins. Is Marlins in the bottom 3?
So it's not the Marlins, but they are – hold on. Sorry, I just had it pulled up. The Marlins are number 25. So they're like bottom 10. The Rockies are right there as well. They're actually 1 above 29 and 20. So actually there's 2 teams tied for last right now. It's the Kansas City Royals and Toronto Blue Jays as ranked last in home runs hit this season. How about that?
Interesting. Yeah, because Bichette doesn't have one yet. I just saw that the other day.
Does Guerrero have one yet?
And I think Vlad just has 1. I think he has 1.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. Guerrero. Let's just double check stats because I swear he had. Let's see. I'm pulling it up right now as I'm going through it. No, dude, Vlad has 0, so he has not hit one yet.
Wow.
How about that?
Interesting.
Bo Bichette and Vlad
Mhm.
Guerrero both are home run lists to start 2025. Interesting. All right. Well, good stuff, Sean. We just went through a
Yeah, great question.
review of all of the baseball teams that we have been high on this season, who we're a little bit worried about, talk about fantasy players, all the good stuff that a baseball junkie should like. And now we move into tomorrow's bets. So, Sean, I don't know. I can always start if you don't really have one yet. We've got quite a bit of baseball tomorrow. I don't think there's much of a stalling period. I know some teams have like Mondays off, but actually there's quite a bit of games tomorrow. So is there a particular matchup that you like tomorrow, or is there a team, anything? Is there any kind of bets that you're looking for tomorrow or in the series that is starting on Monday, April 14th? I got a couple for me, but what do you like to start out this MLB sports betting
I
segment?
I have 2 for Tuesday. Tomorrow, the only one I really like, I love Clay Holmes as a bounce back. I just talked about him in maybe a buy low segment. I think his ERA is going to bounce right back. I think he's gonna go 5 or 6 innings and really shut down the Twins tomorrow. Going against Joe Ryan, who looked okay in his last start, but man, Soto, what you said, Soto and Alonso, no hits today, right? I think that Mets lineup could kind of come back and put up another big number tomorrow against Joe Ryan. Give me maybe a Soto over on total basis prop tomorrow, and I like a Mets money line, which I think is on the road should be plus money tomorrow with Clay Holmes. I think Holmes is going to shut down the Twins. I do like the under in that game as well, but I think the Mets are going to score some runs, and I really like the Mets money line tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. So right now, according to DraftKings, the Twins are minus 115, Mets are minus 105. So the
Yeah.
underdog still laying the short price at 105. But yeah, I mean, at that price for how bad the Twins have looked, I can't support that. Like, yeah, if the Twins go out there and win tomorrow, it is what it is. But with the Mets and how they've looked, the only concern, and I'm not saying it's a big concern, but they are traveling from the West Coast, so who knows? Maybe that plays a little bit of an
Interesting.
impact from Sacramento. That's where they're coming from. But yeah,
Interesting.
I mean, from a number standpoint and the pitchers and all of the offense and all the other things that you want to talk about, the Mets to me also would be a good play. So I definitely um, am with you on the Mets. I think that's a good play. One game that I'm targeting for tomorrow, I'll go to my pick here. And as I always tell people, any official bets that I make, I'll post it on my page. I don't make like overnight bets unless it's something I really like and I feel like the line's going to move. I don't usually do it. I like to wait to see like lineups and such. And if it moves in baseball, it's not like it moves crazy unless it's like a money line. But this is not a money line. This is a total, and it's the Royals versus the Yankees. We've got Carlos Carrasco against Seth Lugo. I'm looking at this matchup. I like the over. I'm not a big fan of Carlos Carrasco. His advanced metrics look really bad. Really, the only good thing about him is he doesn't walk a lot of batters. But outside of that, his xERA is 6.07. His X batting average against him is 307. The fastballs are down, or his velocity is down. He's basically like throwing Miles Michaelis type fastballs, and we all know how bad that can be. His whiff percentage is bad. And this is a Royals team who I did just say is last in home runs or tied for last, but there's still some potential in this lineup. They got Bobby Witt Jr., Pasquantino. If you like total base props, I think those guys are great to target tomorrow. And of course, Salvador Perez. Those are three studs in their lineup who can always break out at any given time. So I like the Royals to be able to score a couple, but I also like this Yankees team. They're coming off a loss today to the Giants. They're going up against Seth Lugo, who he had a good season last year, but how real was it? I don't know. I think he is due for a little bit of regression this season. I'm just a little worried about him and his numbers against the Yankees this going into this game. Again, the metrics aren't great. Whiff percentage is not there. xERA is 4.11. Fastball velocity is throwing around the 90s. So he's not a guy who's going to strike you out a lot. Kind of average on the walk. So yeah, I like the over here. I think we get to 8.5. I think 8.5 is the number. I think we get to close to 10, if not more. I think Aaron Judge has a big game. He was kind of quiet this past series in New York. And if you look at the numbers between these two teams, like against each other, like from a stat standpoint, I believe Aaron Judge. Hold on, I need to pull up the splits really quick on those guys. I like to pull it up like player stats against them. And last season, I had it pulled up. Sorry, give me a second to pull that up here. And the Royals bullpen is a little questionable to me too. That's another thing I worry about if it comes down to bullpens.
For sure.
And Yeah, looking at the numbers, I mean, look at this. Jonathan India, I know he's hurt right now, but there's numbers here for Salvador Perez. Uh, Good hitter against him in his career. Bobby Witt Jr. has a home run against him in his career. And then looking at the Yankees here against Lugo, we've got Paul Goldschmidt, who has small sample size, 11 at bats. He has 2 home runs with a 1.874 OPS against him. Cody Bellinger has good numbers against Lugo. He has a home run against him as well. So yeah, I'm liking the over in this game, 8.5. Any thoughts?
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's a great pull. I even like Cody Bellinger tomorrow against the righty in the Yankee Stadium. How about that for a total base prop tomorrow? Bellinger still hitting like third or fifth on that lineup. Him and Goldschmidt, I think you're going to have a decent day tomorrow. Yeah, Judge, man, any series, I think he could hit 1 or 2 home runs a game, let alone the series. So I'm in. As long as it's not like 9.5 or 10.5 in Yankee Stadium, that's a great call. As far as I'm concerned.
So I like the over in that game. Like I said, Royals Yankees over 8.5. It is a little bit juiced to the over, so that might jump up to 9. If you like it now, you might as well get into it because it probably will be 9 at some point tomorrow. I can't imagine that line drops anymore, like to 8. I'd be shocked if it did. So 8.5. I have it closer to 9, even 10. And then like if you like to target total bases, like Sean said, definitely could target Bellinger, but also maybe look at Ben Rice. Ben Rice might be batting atop that lineup. If he's like sitting there at plus money for over 1.5 total bases, that's a guy I would target as well. Yeah. Am I wrong? Like total base prop for him?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Against the righty, he could hit a home run tomorrow.
So I like that. And then let's see. We have a couple other games. So just to go over a few, Pirates Nationals. Paul Skeens pitches that game. Do you have any quick thoughts on that, or is that a game?
My only thing is all the expected stats for Paul Skeens are still good. They're still good. He got lit up against the Cardinals again, which I think is so funny. But Paul Skeens is going to have an incredible year if he stays healthy. So I'm all in. I think the Pirates are going to win tomorrow with Skeens. I don't know if I'll bet it, but what do you think?
Let's do like a rapid fire. Let's give like our anything that we don't have a bet in. Let's just give like our quick picks on it, and then like just kind of go from there. So yeah, Pirates should win. I mean, it's Paul Skeens. They're going up against. I saw the guy's name, and I'm like, who the hell is this? Trust me, I know a lot of baseball. Sean, you know it, but have you ever heard of the guy? His last name is Lord. Brad Lord is getting the start. He looks like he was an 18th round pick. So overall, pick number 531. He's getting the start tomorrow. I mean, I know it's the Pirates.
Never heard of the guy in my life.
Yeah.
When I look at this picture, it looks like Trey Turner's older brother.
Yeah. So no play. I'm staying away from this, but obviously I'd be on the Pirates with Paul Skeens. There's just nothing there that I would want to take the Nationals for. Giants Phillies. This is another one that I'm potentially going to target as a play tomorrow. And a big reason for that is the regression is coming. If Taijuan Walker continues to give shutout innings, I'll be shocked. But we all know how hit or miss Taijuan Walker can be. And I feel like tomorrow's a bad spot for him. This Giants lineup has been one of the best in baseball. We saw it on display against New York this past weekend. Jung-Ho Lee looks awesome. Willie Adames hasn't gotten going. Matt Chapman's doing fine. Lamont Wade Jr. is doing fine. I mean, there's hitters in this lineup who can do well. So Phillies just got shut out today. I feel like they should have a little bit of a bounce back spot as well. Number sitting at about 8.5. I like the over in this game as well. That's another strong lean for me. Any thoughts here? Giants, Phillies. I also lean toward the Giants on the money line, but any thoughts here between these two teams?
No, I'm with you. I think Taijuan Walker is due, man, and he's so streaky. I think him being red hot so far this year, he's gotten very, very lucky allowing no runs. I think the Giants could come out and really hit him well. They got some really good lefties in that Giants lineup to go with Chapman and Willie Adames. I think the Giants score a little bit tomorrow for sure.
Yep. Hoping that if I can get on the number for the over, I like that one over 8.5. Let's see. Let's go down the list here. We just talked about Royals and Yankees. Red Sox Rays. It looks like we have a matchup between who's the two pitchers we got going. We've got Tanner Houck and Shane Baz. Shane Baz. Shane Baz has looked pretty good this season. The Red Sox come off a weird series. They just lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. They didn't score a lot of runs. The offense seems to be a little bit up and down. I know there's guys in the offense who can hit, but outside of that St. Louis series, it wasn't like they've been incredible. I mean, the St. Louis rotation helped them out and looked incredible. But any quick thoughts here? Would you lay the -120 with the Rays, or do you think there's more value on the Red Sox at even money?
Man, I almost got shell shocked like a World War II PTSD veteran watching Miles Michaelis just taking freaking take shots from all these Red Sox hitters. Oh my gosh,
brutal, dude, brutal.
Oh my gosh, I think it broke the record for most like 110 mile an hour hit balls off the bat against Miles Michaelis. That was a pathetic job by Michaelis, and Red Sox offense looked incredible. But I actually think I like the under in that game. I think Tanner Houck had a great year last year. A lot of his expected stats are still there. His first 3 starts have actually been a little rough, but I really like Shane Baz. And again, they're in this stadium in Tampa. I think it's the Yankees minor league stadium that they play now. And it is not as friendly of a ballpark as that Sacramento stadium that the A's play in.
Yes.
So that stadium, I kind of like the under in a lot of these Rays games, but especially if you got Tanner Houck, and I think Shane Baz can kind of shut down a lot of the righties in that Red Sox lineup. Tristan Casas does not look good so far this year. If he's still cold, then I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I would go the under. I don't have a lean money line. I don't know if you do, but just my initial take is under on that game.
Yeah, short and sweet. Probably the Rays. I don't like the state of this Red Sox lineup right now, and maybe they'll get the Baz tomorrow, but that's a tough pitcher to go up against and get right. So I'll stay away from it. But yeah, Rays would be my lean. I like the under look. It's a good look too. I went like this when you said Michaelis because really quick for anybody who maybe replays this podcast. I had the Phillies yesterday. Sean, you know about this. Team total over 4.5. Okay, it was 2-0 the first inning. Great, looks good. All you need is 3 more runs. Okay, well, Miles Michaelis, of course, does well against them. He allows 3 runs total. We go to the 8th inning. It's 3-1. No, it's 4-1. Excuse me, 4-1, and the Phillies get 2 guys on base. It's second and third, nobody out. I'm like, here we go. All I need is a sac fly, wild pitch. Who knows? Just something. Give me anything. What happens? The next 3 guys come up and strike out. Unbelievable. Steven Matz strikes out somebody, and then they bring in this bum from the bullpen. I forgot who it was already, but they bring in this bum from the bullpen, and they strike out the next 2 guys. So the Phillies couldn't put the bat or the ball in play, and I lose my bet because these bums could not get a guy in from third with nobody out. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable, and that's my rant on the Philadelphia Phillies. Gosh, I'm so mad about it.
Yeah. No, I can't believe Michael is only allowed. Did he throw a quality start? I think he went 6 innings with 3 runs yesterday.
I think he did six innings, 3 runs. Yeah, yep.
And that's with Schwarber having a big year. Harper, all these lefties, they just mash these slow throwing righties too.
Really weird. Really weird.
Weird game.
We'll move to the next one. Like I said, rapid fire here. We'll just get some quick thoughts on each game so people can know about the bets for tomorrow. Braves and Blue Jays. So at this price, it might be too hard for me to pass up on the Braves. -108. Grant Holmes seems fine to me. He did really well actually last start against the Phillies. I think he only allowed 1 or 2 runs. Like he did really good in that start, and that was against a good Phillies lineup. Still some things about this Blue Jays team I'm a little worried about. I don't know if Vlad Guerrero is going to eventually hit a home run. Same with Bo Bichette. But when I look at the 2 teams, I still like the Braves, and I think the pitching matchup here, I lean toward the Braves. It looks like Easton Lucas is getting the start. There's some good things about him, but I don't know. This is tough. Lean toward the Braves. Any quick thoughts on Braves and Blue Jays here?
Yeah, I like Grant Holmes coming into the year, kind of more of a sleeper guy, 4th or 5th in that Braves rotation. But at some point, this Braves lineup has to wake up, right? I mean, at some point, Riley and Olsen and Harris all have to start hitting for power. It's hopefully coming soon. I mean, this could be the series that it happens. There's just no way this lineup's going to stay this cold all year. So if you like the look from this pitcher, I think that's a great play. And I think the Braves are going to heat up a little bit. We might try to catch a run on the Braves here in the coming weeks. If that lineup heats up, I might start putting down some Braves money line bets if that offense really starts to heat up.
Yep. No doubt about it. Hopefully, if I end up going with it, the Braves can come through. The next one on the board, we've got Tariq Skubal and Tyler Alexander. That's the Tigers and the I don't know why I put the Blue Jays. I need to get that fixed. Tigers and the Brewers is the next matchup here. I mean, can you fade Skubal? Do the Brewers have enough to put up some runs here and maybe steal a win? It looks like the price is -162 for Skubal and the Tigers, +135 for the Brewers. Do you have any quick thoughts on Skubal going up against the Brewers here?
I like that sneaky Brewers lineup coming in so far this season. Bryce Durang, I really like, and your guy Sal Frelick. But no, I'm not going to fade Skubal on this one. That's what I'm staying away from. I don't like the big time pitchers with big lean towards them. I don't think there's much value there. I think Tigers could easily win this game, and there's not much value there. If anything, I would just go money line Tigers if you really need a win. But I don't think Skubal's gonna gonna explode or anything against the Brewers. I think Tigers are gonna win tomorrow.
Yeah, totally fair. I got really no other opinions. Lean Tigers, but nothing super strong for me either. For a lot of the reasons Sean just said. Here we go. Here's a game that we know a lot about: Sonny Gray versus Framber Valdez. We've got Valdez, who actually has been. I know his first start was a little rough. He did bounce back in his next start. I'm looking at his game logs really quick. I mean, the walks are a little concerning. He gets strikeouts, but sometimes he has some control issues, so that could be a thing tomorrow. Look, here's what I'll say. And Sean, you sent me the tweet earlier, and so I have to reference it. But you sent a tweet that showed like 3 of the biggest bums in baseball beat the Cardinals this week. But of course, here's the 3 pitchers the Cardinals beat: Paul Skeens, Aaron Nola, and Zach Wheeler, and then a bunch of other trash that we lost to. So of course, the Cardinal way is we go out there, we beat a really good pitcher, but we can't hit a bum. So you got to just kind of roll with it. If it's me here, go with the Cardinals. I mean, they typically do well against good pitchers in baseball. Yeah, I mean, the Astros haven't looked really that great either. The offense has been kind of hit or miss. Jordan Alvarez, super slow start to the season. I'm a little worried about him. He'll probably figure it out though. But yeah, with him playing at this level right now, not the power's not there yet. A couple other Astro guys are getting slow starts. Kind of like the Cardinals tomorrow. Any quick thoughts on that? -120 for the Astros.
Yeah, another big thing on the Astros, Cam Smith, who hit whatever, like 8 home runs in spring. He looks way overmatched, rookie Cam Smith, so far this year. So that Astros lineup is not what it has been. It's not what it has been. My only worry, Framber, lefty, facing Newpar and Donovan tomorrow. I don't know. Newpar, Donovan, Burleson, all of them, they sometimes can struggle against the lefties. So we'll see. That's my only that's one other thing. I think Cardinals could win a low-scoring game. I think it's going to have to be a sneaky low-scoring game. Maybe Wilson Contreras stays hot, gets a couple hits, but I don't know. And I don't like Ivan Herrera being out either. Padres has been fine. He's a better defensive catcher. I don't know if he's going to be the hitter that he's been these last couple of games. So I would say low scoring. I kind of love the under, even though it's going to be already pretty low. It's probably going to be 7.5 or something. But
it is, yes.
At Busch Stadium, so could be a low scoring game. I wonder what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. But I don't know. If you're getting juiced plus money with the Cardinals, I think that's fine. I think they could easily win that game tomorrow. But I kind of like the under even more, and I don't know about that Astros lineup.
And one quick thing to mention before we move on to the other game, we only have 2 games to cover here. Sonny Gray has really actually been pretty good this year. I mean, we all saw about his spring training. It was not good, but you got to take those with a grain of salt. I'm looking right here at his numbers. He had a really good start against Pittsburgh. It is Pittsburgh, whatever. Good start against Minnesota. Now we're starting to learn Minnesota's not great. And that game against the Angels, don't be too fooled in that game. He gave up a grand slam that led to 4 runs. So he was really pitching strong that game. He had no walks to 9 strikeouts, looked really, really, really good. And then there was just a mistake. He let up a grand slam in that game. So overall, I think we have to be happy with Sonny Gray. So hopefully he's getting a good matchup here against this Astros team right now.
Yeah, the other thing too is tomorrow. That's kind of my play. Is tomorrow. We'll talk about it later. Maybe tomorrow. I'm sorry, on Tuesday. On Tuesday. Yep. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. But Fetty, who kind of lucked out. I think he threw. Was it 6 scoreless with only 1 strikeout?
Yep.
Man, he's been getting a little lucky. It's Fetty and the Cardinals versus Hunter Brown, who I kind of like. He's been doing really well this year. On Tuesday, and I think the Astros are going to come out and win that game. I think, especially if we win tomorrow, and they don't use their bullpen, they don't use Hader or anything. I might go pretty big on the Astros on Tuesday. I think they got a really good shot on the road there.
Yep, that's a good point too, Sean. Cubs Padres. We're moving into our last 2 games in the night. The last game probably won't talk much about because it's a pretty gross matchup. But Cubs Padres, we had the Cubs who just took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. Impressive showing for them. Offense was really, really good last night. They put up 4 tonight and won the game against the Dodgers team. So 2 runs for the Dodgers in the last 2 games. Interesting. But we've got Jameson Taillon against Dylan Cease. The Dylan Cease who just got rid of his beard. I don't know if anybody saw that over the social media. It was like, looked like a big grizzly bear, and now it's like nothing. So Padres here. It looks like, I mean, they're playing really well. They're coming off a sweep, beating the Rockies.
Yeah, interesting one.
It's the Rockies. I don't know. -166 for Dylan Cease. I don't like Jameson Taillon. I think he's probably been one of my least favorable pitchers in baseball over the last couple of years. So I don't think I have a lot of confidence in him. I kind of like maybe the first 5. I think the Padres could get off to a fast start and be up by at least 1 at the end of 5 innings. So I'm looking at the Padres maybe as a first 5 play. But any quick thoughts here, Cubs, Padres for you, Sean?
Only thing is Jackson Merrill hurt. I think that's going to hurt that Padres lineup. That's my only thing. But Tatis looks good, hitting the ball hard. We'll see. I think Padres are probably going to win that game. So I don't know if I want to throw that much money on the money line, but I don't think the Cubs are going to, with Tyon, are going to win that game tomorrow, especially if Seiya Suzuki is still out. It's kind of a big thing. And our guy, Matt Shaw, big rookie Matt Shaw, who I thought was going to have I could see coming up against a big pitcher like Dylan Cease, who's had a slow start. I could see him having a good game tomorrow. So I'd probably lean Padres, but I don't know if I want those odds. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. And then last but not least, I mean, this, I think it has to be. I don't think there's any other team or any other game this young in the season that's been this big of a money line. But the Dodgers tomorrow are laying minus 340, minus 345. Sorry, 345 against this Rockies team. We got Dustin May against Antonio Senzatella, plus 275 for the Rockies. Plus 1.5 is plus 130. So I think all of that tells you right there. The Dodgers coming off a series loss to the Cubs, and then scoring just 2 runs in their last 2 games. I mean, the Dodgers should just absolutely crush this Rockies team. And if Dustin May doesn't go out there and throw like 6 shutout innings with no walks, that's a big disappointment. This Rockies team is really bad. So yeah, if there's any way to play this game, you might want to look at like Dodgers team total over. It is a little pricey. It's like 5.5, so you need them to score 6 runs. But I mean, this is the Rockies. This is Antonio Senzatella, who's on the mound for the Rockies. I think he's got a lot of hard contact against him. He's not a big strikeout guy. Yeah, if the Dodgers don't blow them out here, or at least win the game, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, anything to add here, Sean? Dodgers, Rockies, Dustin May on the mound.
This is like in soccer when you have a friendly matchup right before the big tournament. I mean, this is a joke. What was the Miguel Vargas was pitching for the Dodgers yesterday because of the Cubs kind of, I think they beat him like 16-0 or something like that.
Was it Miguel Rojas?
Miguel Rojas, that's who it was. Miguel Vargas. Look for something like that tomorrow. I think if you look at your phone and it said Dodgers 12-1, that wouldn't shock me at all. I'm not even going to watch this game, let alone bet on it. I like my fellow Ginger Dustin May. Hopefully he can have a good game. But man, I don't know. I don't want that juice line. I don't want any part of it. I think the Dodgers are definitely going to score 6. So I love that play with the team over. But oh man, I got almost nothing else on that game. What do you think?
Yeah. No, yeah, it's Dodgers obviously or nothing. The only way to play this, like I said, if you really want to bet them like minus 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, kind of ladder them and hope that they just win by more than 5, that could be a good play that you do. Or if you just want to bet that their offense goes crazy and scores over 5 runs, team total over 5.5. But outside of that, yeah, I'm not even going to bet the Rockies just because of the value. This is a bad team that probably should be the worst team in the entire Major League Baseball season. So nothing that I like at all. And then, Sean, I saw this. This is really interesting. I don't know if you've ever noticed on DraftKings, they do series props. Are you familiar with that? Where they will put like the list of teams who are starting tomorrow, and it tells you the series. Like right now, for example, the Cardinals and the Houston Astros are minus 110 for who's going to win the series. So you could bet right now. You could say, I would think if you like the Cardinals to win 2 out of 3, you could bet them right now at minus 110. Interesting, right?
Wow, no, that's really. I've never done it before. Never seen that before.
So I'm looking at that right now. And here's another example of the Dodgers, how favored they are. So they're minus 600 to win the series.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So here's the one that sticks out the most to me. I'm looking at it right now through DraftKings is the Phillies and the Giants one. The Giants right now, it looks like it's a 4-game series. So you can take the Giants at plus 300. The Phillies are plus 120. And then if you tie that series, if it's a tie, 2-2 split, it'd be plus 170. But yeah, I mean, this is an interesting way to look at it. And the Braves are minus 130 to win the series compared to the Blue Jays at plus 110. So that they're saying like the Braves should win the first game, if not the next 2 games because of that series price. So that might be a good way to approach the series is look at those series props.
No, that's a great idea. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Sean, whenever you get off here, you should totally look it up. If you just go through the DraftKings app and it'll say on there series props, and it will tell you who they like think's going to win the series. Like again, for example, they have the Tigers -125 tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is another interesting one. The Mets and the Twins -110 for both of them. So they think that's like a coin flippy kind of series.
Interesting. Who's starting Tuesday for the Mets? Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. Tuesday.
Oh, is it McGill? I think McGill's. McGill.
So
and then does it have Wednesday?
Let's see.
Griffith Canning.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, interesting.
So in the according to sports books, the coin flippy series here are the Cardinals Astros. They could see that going either way. Mets and Twins, they could see going either way. They like the Rays -125, Boston +105. So yeah,
interesting.
A thing that you should look at. If you like a specific team tomorrow, maybe look at what their season price is or their series price is.
The only thing I like Tuesday, we were kind of low on them. We've been low on the Baltimore rotation, but I think Charlie Morton off to a terrible start. Oh my God, he looks old but still a nasty curveball, man. I think that he's going against Logan Allen on Tuesday.
Yep.
Who's off to a good start, but I don't know. Crafty veteran. I kind of like that Orioles offense to bounce back. I think I'm going big on the Orioles on Tuesday. I think they're going to have some plus money at home. Which I really like. And I still like the back end of that bullpen, but we'll see. I don't think the Guardians are going to score, a ton on Morton anyway. Maybe take the first 5 for the Orioles, but I think I'm going to go Orioles money line on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, Orioles money line. Another way I would approach that is the over. I think we could see some runs in that game.
Yeah.
One other quick thing, I know we're going to wrap this up here, but Emmanuel Clase does not look good. We talked about this. Another little prop to us. I know we've been wrong about a lot of things so far, but there's one thing that we've been right about. Emmanuel Clase. Sean, I remember telling you I was a little worried about him just because of all those innings he pitched last season. Regular season, add on that postseason that he pitched a lot of those playoff games. I'm a little worried about Emmanuel Clase. He's been getting up a lot of hits, even in 0-2 counts. Like he's getting up a lot of those like base hits, doubles, extra base hits. So Cleveland, the bullpen might be somewhat of their strong suit, but if Clase is this bad and is like kind of fallen off a little bit compared to last year, be a little concerned about Cleveland. So
ERA over 3 in 2023. He was not good 2 years ago. He just had an incredible year last year. Huge workload last year. Man, those relievers, they're like running backs in football.
I know, man. Isn't that
they're
crazy?
Like running backs in football. You never know. Ryan Helsley doesn't look good this year. We'll see. It's funny. I saw some stuff on Twitter about how we should be marveling Aroldis Chapman. He's got one of the most like magical left arms in all of baseball. And I laughed at it, but I thought to myself, that's a guy who's thrown 100-mile-an-hour pitches his whole career for 10 plus years. And he's maybe only had a couple stints on the IL. That is one of the most impressive things. I don't want to celebrate a guy like Chapman. Sounds like a pretty horrible man, but of course. But I think that is pretty crazy. You just don't see relievers last that long.
I'm looking at 2024 just to compare. It's 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, so whatever. But 2024, he had a .61 ERA that whole season. I'm shocked. God. I did not know that for Clase. He had that. He had a .61 ERA. This season, early on, it's 7 games, 7 innings pitched. He has a 2.14 WHIP and a 7.71 ERA in this early season. So he's getting hit pretty hard, and it's kind of looking gross right now. So we'll see. We'll see if he bounces back in the next couple months here. But anything else, Sean? We're going to close it out here. Anything else before we close out this first episode of the Major League Baseball season with baseball bets and fantasy players?
Not much. I love the conversation. I love the conversation.
Awesome.
The fantasy outlook is so much different than I thought it was going to be. Just 3 weeks in. We'll see. Let's go Cardinals. Let's keep this offense hot. Liberatore looked great today. We'll see if he can be sneaky. If he can be a sneaky number 3 starter, we'll see. Look out for all these minor league guys coming up. It looks like Zebby. What's his name? Zebby Williams or Zebby Matthews is going to start for the Twins tomorrow. I really liked him. It sounds like Quinn Matthews for the Cardinals is going to come up here in the next couple months. We'll keep an eye on all these minor league guys too. That's going to change the outlook of the entire season. We'll see that Nick Kurtz guy from the A's. I think he already has like 8 home runs in AAA. He's been exploding all those drafted guys from last year. That Jack Caglione and Travis Bazzana and all the big draft class guys from last year are on their way up probably the middle of this year. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. But we'll see. The AL looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I think the Angels are going to have a fall off, but I think the Tigers could end up winning that Central Division.
Yeah.
But any other last takeaways just from the first 3 weeks? What do you see? Oh yeah.
As we close out the MLB preview, I'm saying preview. As we close out this week 3 little podcast, I gotta give a shout out to one of, if not greatest all-time defensive catchers in Major League Baseball history. Yadier Molina got the bobblehead here. I miss him in St. Louis. It sucks not having him at catcher, but you know what? One day I think he'll be part of this organization again, and it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm trying to keep hope there. But yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to Molina. It's weird not having him behind the plate after watching him since I was like 7 years old. It's weird, just like every day you've got Pages coming up, and you're like, you can't get excited for Pages. And I mean, he's doing fine, but yeah, shout out to Molina. He's been one of my favorite players of all time, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. So when that time comes, no hate toward Molina. He put up an incredible career, and he caught so many innings that none of these other bums will do for the rest of this the age of baseball. Like none of these other guys will catch for like 10 straight days or as many innings as these guys do. So shout out to Molina as we close this out.
Man, Sal Perez, he's the last one.
Yeah.
You'll never see a catcher with over 140 games the rest of our lives, Alexi.
It's crazy. It is. But awesome, Sean. Well, thank you to anyone who replays this. I know we had some people kind of come in and go out, but we're kind of just getting started with this. This is our first official podcast of the season. We did some previews early on. That's found on our page, but we're going to try to do like one per week. Just talk about like teams who we like, who we dislike, give some thoughts, talk about fantasy players. We play fantasy baseball, so we can try to give as much insight as we like about fantasy baseball players to try to help you win your fantasy championship if you are competing for one. And then, of course, bets. We will be here all season long talking Major League Baseball bets. I have a Twitter page at DPocketsBet. You can find me on there. I'll give you bets every day. I usually do picks that I like. I went for two for two today in my straight bets. I went 1 for 2 on my player props. So 3 for 4 overall. Nice day. But yeah, we're going to lose some. We're going to win some. It's in a long season where it's only April 13th. But if you like baseball bets, if you like baseball, follow us here. We'll be here throughout the season. And of course, Big Sean here to help me out and talk baseball. It's always a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do more of that. And of course, attend some baseball games this summer in St. Louis. So thanks everybody for watching. And we will be back here probably sometime next week to do another one of these just like this. As always, have a great rest of your day whenever you watch this. And as always, let's make some deep pockets, baby. Deep pockets, baby.